What is up, everybody? It's your boy Robert J. Fox, and we are back with a brand new video. And in today's topic, we're going to be talking about 3 animes that comes very close to reality. A lot of times, Japanese animations has hidden messages that you may have never noticed before. Now, while Japanese animations usually reflects Japanese culture, every now and then you'll start to see some reflections of Western standards and Western memes and oftentimes Western politics. In today's topic, we are going to be covering 3 animes in particular that is extremely realistic. Watamote. No matter how you look at it, it is your guys' fault that I'm not popular. Watamote covers a high school teenage girl by the name of Tomoko. Tomoko has spent most of her middle school years holding herself up in her room playing video games, believing everything that she learned in video games would help her become popular. However, this has had an extreme drastic opposite effect on her. As a matter of fact, she becomes an unsociable loner. Though she still forces herself to try out what she has learned about achieving popularity as she progresses through high school, Tomoko attempts to improve her social status amongst her peers. Tomoko is often depicted as a desperate, lonely, and deranged girl who is characterized by her social anxiety, vivid facial expressions, and bags under her eyes. She has a grim outlook on life as most of her thoughts involve insulting others or herself. She spends most of her days playing games and browsing the web. This anime reflects a lot of realistic characteristics of today's culture, as a lot of people tend to blame others for their social inepts. Many people have shut themselves off from the world and drowned themselves in temporary pleasures and false compliments from those on the web. A lot of people tend to make up this persona that is not really them on the internet. They pretend to be something that they are not. And this has a huge effect on how they really are in real life. Take a man who's been shut in his room for a good 10 years after graduating from high school. No college, no social experience. So when he goes out into the real world and tries to find a woman, he is extremely socially awkward. Cannot communicate worth a damn. However, believing everything she sees on the web tends to make her situation much worse. When you try to go out into the real world and try new things, a lot of times it's through trial and error. Yes, you are going to fail. Yes, you are not going to always be 100% successful, but failure is what makes a person grow. The other reflection of this anime is the tendency to blame others for your mistakes, or blame others because of your failure. Sadly, we see a lot of this in today's culture. I mean, watch Dr. Phil. Look on World Star. You'll see somebody being blamed for something that they refuse to take accountability for. Even though Tomoko tries to reform herself and make herself into a better person, many people out there refuse to look at themselves and rather place the blame on things around them, making their situation even harder to come out of than it really has to be. The next anime we're going to cover is going to contain a huge amount of spoilers. I won't spoil too much, but I do have to warn you, if you have not seen this anime, please skip over this and go to the next part of the video.
Spoiler alert, nigga. Didn't you hear me? Keep it to yourself.
And this anime we're going to be talking about is Attack on Titan. Again, spoiler alert. The Attack on Titan is centered around a civilization inside 3 walls, the last location where humans are believed to still live. Over 100 years ago, humanity was driven to the brink of extinction after the emergence of humanoid giants called Titans. These Titans attack and eat humans on sight. The last remnants of humanity retreated behind 3 concrete walls and enjoy nearly a century of peace. To combat Titans, the nation's military employs vertical maneuvering equipment, a set of waist-mounted grappling hooks and gas powder propulsion, enabling immense mobility in 3 dimensions. Now, there aren't any Titans roaming the earth eating people, thank God. However, the political corruption and social stress of living is a direct reflection on how life is today. Here's a fun fact that you may or may not know. The richer you are, the safer you are. And this is a direct reflection in the first season of Attack on Titan. The wealthier people lived on the safer side of the wall, while the poor people lived closer to the dangerous areas of the wall. Sound familiar? Well, that's because in real life, the poorer you are, the worse living conditions you have, while the richer you are, the better living conditions. People who don't live lavish lifestyles tend to have a harder time finding security, to where people who make a huge amount of money have no issue finding safety. I mean, let's be real. You would feel better walking in a wealthy neighborhood than you would walking the streets of the ghetto. Another component of Attack on Titan, which a lot of people tend to overlook, was racism. Again, spoiler alert, but this was not a huge deal until the later seasons of Attack on Titan, kind of pushing the end of Attack on Titan. For those who don't know, the final seasons of Attack on Titan was about a war against the Eldians and Marlins, which was the origin of the entire series. How is this relevant to real life? It represents every single race war in history. Two races chooses not to coexist and rather fight against each other. And due to their vast differences, each side of the race war believes that the other side wronged them in some shape or form. What's even more terrifying is that the country of Marlin will often brainwash its Eldian citizens to believe that they are the root of all problems. Kind of like a certain historical figure. The country of Marlin will often brainwash and ostracize the remaining Eldians inside their country. Kind of like a concentration camp. Not only that, but the government also was planning to get rid of the remaining Eldian race. A complete holocaust.
What? What the fuck?
That's pretty terrifying when you really think about it. Attack on Titan is a reflection of the Holocaust. Now, that might be an extreme way to look at it, but if we compare the Holocaust to Attack on Titan, there's one race that's completely peaceful while another is planning to eradicate them from the root. The next anime that I wanted to talk about is an anime we love to hate. As a matter of fact, I really love talking about this anime because it triggers a lot of people. And this anime we're talking about is School Days.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I know y'all mad. Despite the negative reviews on School Days, I found its relevance incredibly intriguing. School Days focuses on the life of Makoto Itoi, a first-year high school student, living with his divorced and unseen mother in the fictional city of Harumihama. During his second term, he becomes infatuated with Kotonoha Katsura, a soft-spoken schoolmate who shares train rides with him from campus. When the classroom seating plan changes in his class, he is rearranged and becomes acquaintances with Sakai, an upbeat girl who takes a special interest in his newfound crush, befriending the two and providing them with grounds to meet. Despite her triumphant efforts, Sakai becomes jealous of the new couple, having developed feelings for Makoto himself. Thus, the story of love rivals, dating, cheating, and murder become the plot of the series. Now, School Days have become incredibly famous for having horrific bad endings. And I mean just terrible bad endings. Yet the endings were oftentimes depressing and satisfying at the same time. Now, the question you're probably wondering is, how in the hell is this terrible anime realistic? Well, first of all, how many assholes do you know think with their libido instead of considering the feelings of other people? Also, how many successful harems have you seen in today's culture? Probably not many. Truth be told, in modern society today, harems are looked down upon. There is a difference between having a harem and openly cheating. Makoto was openly cheating. Now, the thought of doing the deed with the girl you like seems really appealing. What about doing the deed with the girl you like and her friends? Now add in her friends and her friends' siblings. Now add in her friends, siblings, and possibly her friends' mothers. This man got around. Makoto ends up sleeping with more than half of the girls that he comes in contact with. I mean, literally, if you start a conversation with any of the girls in the light novel, you have a chance of actually going down that girl's route. Now, the problem with Makoto was that he took no responsibilities for his actions. He slept with a girl and then moved on to the next. This caused a huge issue. As a matter of fact, his behavior was encouraged instead of being chastised. Kotono's behavior added a realistic context to the anime, as she loved him so much that she chose to ignore his behavior and accept him, overlooking his wrongdoings. This sounds really familiar, as it is the premise in a lot of TV shows. I mean, a lot of TV shows. Sakai's mistake was that she wanted to have her and Makoto be in a monogamous relationship after leading him down the path of polygamy. Truth be told, it was not Makoto who broke her heart. It was Sakai herself. Makoto's death and many of the routes that he took was a consequence of his own actions. Due to his behavior and how he hurt many women, the bad endings in School Days usually end in Makoto being murdered, along with some of the women that he slept with. The combined School Days series has more bad endings than good, which kind of lets you know that having a harem is not as good as it sounds if you try to have a harem in secret. That concludes the video for today, guys. My name is Robbie J. Fox. If you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Robbie J. Fox, and I'm out.